State Senator Gayle Manning has had a very successful year here in the General Assembly. The Republican from Lorain played an influential role in the passage of several pieces of legislation, including the transportation budget and some initiatives aimed at children's health and welfare. We sat down with her to talk a little bit about these accomplishments and some other things going on at the State House. Senator Gayle Manning is today's caucus conversation. Aside from the state budget, which is the biggest thing that we do, that we did this year, the transportation budget is probably a pretty close second, more than $7 billion spent on that. You chaired the committee that brought the transportation budget through the Senate. Talk a little bit about that process, things that you're most proud about, particularly as it relates to Northeast Ohio.
I was so pleased that Senate President Faber asked me to chair that. He explained to me that he thought it was very, very important because I was from Northern Ohio. I have the most exits of the Turnpike, and because of the governor's proposal of not selling or leasing, which was a concern of all of ours, especially in Northern Ohio, that we would bond it. We were very happy with the results of that. I fought very hard for keeping 90% of that money in Northern Ohio because we felt that we are the ones that actually pay the tolls up there. We were very happy to do that. We were also very happy to do something that the Easy Pass, and the governor and ODOT had said that we were going to have the Easy Pass within 30 miles was going to be frozen for, the tolls would be frozen for 10 years. But I think probably the most important thing for the state of Ohio, and this is how this whole state managed to profit from this, is that conservatively, we're looking at 65,000 jobs that are going to be created, and that means families that are going to be back to work, being able to take care of each other. Very, very important to be able to do that. Also, 70 miles an hour. I think a lot of people are very happy about that. Not only helps, with truckers that are trying to get through, and they're going through other states that are traveling at least 70 miles an hour, if not more. Certainly will help with economic increases.
Helps you get home a lot faster,
and
too.
it does. It does help us to travel a little bit faster, but still keeps the roads very safe. So.
But that is true. When we talk about some of the priorities in the Senate this year, jobs and economic development have been the top two priorities.
Absolutely.
And this transportation budget, it really plays a major role in that.
It certainly does, and we've certainly heard from a lot of the small businesses. We've heard from many of our local unions on how pleased that they are that they're doing this, because a lot of them were hurting, with the recession that we'd been facing, and they're so very, very happy that they can get back to work and take care of their families.
Let's move on to some other issues. Healthcare. You've done a number of things related to healthcare in this year. One particularly is something related to your home county, and that has to do with Narcan. Talk a little bit about what that is and what this bill does.
The county sheriff's committee, county coroner, local police had come to me and said that they had been trying to allow Narcan, which is for a drug that will almost bring people back to life if they are ODing on an opioid, which is like a heroin, which we know is such an epidemic now. And they said that they felt that first responders should be able to carry this, and they were trying to get it through, not legislatively, because they figured it would be slowed down by that. Could not do that, so they asked me if I would do a pilot program that Dr. Evans would head up and train our police and our fire to be able to carry this with them. I was more than happy to do that. We got that through. The governor signed it. 90 days later, I believe it was October 16th, it became a pilot program in Lorain County, and as of to date, they have saved 17 lives in Lorain County by using Narcan, which is just a spray that they use, a nasal spray, cannot do harm to people if they use it and think that somebody is ODing and they're not. So we're very happy to have that in Lorain County.
another issue that has to do with newborn infants and some issues related to infants who are born with congenital heart defects, which is one of the #1 causes of death among newborns. And,
Absolutely right.
and you spearheaded some legislation related to that as well.
Yeah, I joint sponsored that with Senator Olslager and was more than happy to do that. Felt very important about that. My grandchild was born just about the same time that was signed into legislation. Hadn't become law yet, but I think that's so very important. The last thing we want to do is send children home thinking that they're healthy and then find out later that they had a congenital heart defect, and all we had to do was do the pulse oximetry, which is basically just putting a little pinch on their toe, and within seconds you can find out if they have this, and it just makes a lot of sense to me to be able to have that. So we're real happy to have that passed.
But you also were involved in some legislation related to allowing school districts some flexibility in how they approach school safety issues. Can you discuss that a little bit?
I always like it when somebody from the district comes to me with a problem and asking for a solution. And Vermilion City Schools had come to actually Randy Gardner, Senator Gardner, and myself, because he has Erie County side of Vermilion, I have the Lorain County side, and they asked us if it was their idea to come up with legislation where that they could pass a levy that would allow them to use money only for safety issues. They wanted to use it to be able to hire another resource officer and possibly some cameras. And they felt very strongly about this. They said that they knew that they could pass, in an operational budget that they could do this. But they wanted to do this so that if they were gone and they were no longer school board members there, that they could not use that money for anything else but for safety of their children.
So as we're wrapping up 2013, looking ahead to 2014, anything that's on the agenda for you, anything that you're kind of working on that you want to give people a preview about, or are you just going to hold your cards close to the vest?
You hate to talk about something that you're hoping to pass and that doesn't get passed, but I like it when somebody from the district comes to me and said, help us fix this problem. And I'm more than happy to do that and fight very hard to get that legislation passed. But I think it's also important to realize that legislation isn't what it's all about. It's also important to meet with people in the district and to visit schools and have the opportunity to explain to them what you do down here and to go to businesses and see their success stories and enjoy the pride that they have.
Senator, thanks so much for spending some time with us. And thanks for watching. As always, you can keep up to date with us every day on our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Ohio Senate GOP, or visit our website, ohiosenate.gov/Republicans. Thanks for watching.